Alright, hello and welcome back to Beyond the Beyond. We're going to start by quickly exploring the border church here. Or not the border church, the little rest stop. I forget what this place is actually called. It doesn't really serve a great purpose. You can rest, you can save. Outside of that, there's not really a lot to do here. But it does make this into a good grinding spot if you so choose. I am not planning on doing that. We're going to head up into this cave right here. And there's not a lot to do in here other than grind if you so choose, but there are a few things that we want to look at. Let's see what kind of enemies we have in here. Giant scorpions. This seems dangerous. Let's see how things go. Somebody tells me we're going to do just fine with a dual Dark Wolfensteiner attack. Annie not doing quite as much from the back row there, but hopefully Samson can help out. Reasonably decent amount of damage there that he took. You can see that there is some strength to these enemies here, but I think we will be just fine here. Hopefully Annie can finish it off. Nice job. And I get no cam amount of experience. Annie reaches level 6. BP, LP, some magic, strength, and awaken level 1. Not a spell I make great use of, but always nice to have another thing in the utility belt. A treasure here. You get healing herb. Take that and move on. And you can see some sort of something at the bottom of the screen there. And as we come through the cave, we can head this way. Suppose we can unpause for a new enemy. We have a zombie here. Zombies tend to hit fairly hard, pack a decent punch. At least the more upper level ones do when you get the, I guess, ghouls. But we'll see more of them in Zalagoon and the areas over there. What do you got, Annie? Very good. Okay. Make sure no one leveled up. Okay, let's continue through here. And what do we find? Yes, there appears to be a dragon waiting to make our acquaintance. We can take a look at this dragon here. Just tells us it's sleeping, but there's nothing else we can do for now. There are some other areas in this cave that we will take a look at later. This could be interesting. Let's try a little magic for once. Let's see how that goes. Hopefully Dark Fool's Fire killed this thing. Good. Otherwise, Edwards would have been very much wasted. So as we talked about, that is the risk of putting Annie in the back row, is you lose a good amount of the damage that she is otherwise able to do. Edward's fire spell should work just as well. Magic is unaffected by being in the back row, which is nice. Let's see Annie. Not quite. Alright. And there you go. The final piece of Samson's curse. There are times when he just simply is not allowed to move, which can get very frustrating. But he is going to level up a little bit, as will Edward. The number of experience needed to go up each level is the same for every character, unless I'm mistaken. However, if someone is dead or groggy at the end of a battle, they will not receive the experience for that fight. And so it can be very important to make sure that people aren't, groggy or dead at the end of a boss battle, for example, or that they and they'll continue to level up at the same time until one of them happens to miss some experience in any given fight. We are going to rest up here because we're about to go into our first true dungeon of the game. And this gives me an opportunity to talk a little bit about part of why I think this game is so good. Every single dungeon from this point on, and like I said, I consider this to be the first real dungeon, every single dungeon from this point on is entirely unique in terms of the puzzle it represents. They all have their own unique mechanics, which I find to be a really cool addition. There's a degree to which that's true of almost every game, but I think it is more notable in this game than most any that I'm familiar with. We are coming up to the Great Tree Maze here, which is the first dungeon. Yeah, I find it to be more notable with this game than any. I often feel that games are basically, you know, the different dungeons are really the exact same thing for the most part, just with a different template, different color scheme, whereas this truly is distinctly different, at least in my opinion. Alright, we're going to go this way first, and now we need to be a little more cautious as we move this around, as we're truly getting to the puzzle portion of this level. And basically we have to move these kind of nuts around to put them into the holes so that we can safely go across. We're going to use this new piece of mail for Samson. Increases defense. Unfortunately, we do have to fall down, but that's fine. Just another little walk to get back up. It's a simple puzzle, but it's also the first real puzzle of the game, so that's fine. Alright, Edward has reached level 6. MP went up, strength, and learned ice level 1, which unfortunately is not going to be exceptionally valuable to us, but that's fine. Annie is going to heal up Samson. I noticed that Samson did not level up there, which may be an indication that perhaps I was just wrong and everyone does not have the same amount, or he may have actually been asleep at the end of a battle, and maybe that threw things off, although I don't recall that having happened, so we'll see. Alright, come down here, push that in, and come up to the next floor. So here, let's see, hopefully I can do this correctly. There's a little more walking around now to make sure that you don't put this in any unreachable areas. Alright, Dark Wolf has leveled up to 7. Minimal increases there, strength by 2, speed goes up, and learns illusion level 1, which I never use. And Samson has finally reached 6 as well. Strength by 4, that's an excellent addition. Always good when the speed goes up. Okay, gotta remember where we were. It's one of the big dangers of the high encounter rate. It's very easy to kind of forget what you were doing, particularly in these puzzles. So for this one, we actually have to start by going all the way around. I don't remember whether or not we saw a mold before, so I will show this fight, just so we can see the mold in action. It's an enemy that's probably a better idea to use magic against, but it doesn't really matter at this point. We're doing just fine. There's no reason to make any kind of major adjustments to strategy. I'm not even really bothering to use any magic at this point. I'll probably save it for some time when there's a large group of enemies, if I ever need it, but for the first few levels, it's really not a problem. Really not until the enemies themselves start casting magic at you do you need it. And Annie reaches 7. MP, not a great level. Didn't gain very much, didn't get any speed, no spells. So it was a little unfortunate, but you're gonna have times like that. Such is life. even fake life video games. Alright, let's carry on here. That guy up, come over. Make sure we don't go too far, which is very easy to accidentally do. It can be quite frustrating. I don't think we've seen a demon hornet yet, so we'll show off at least the character sprite, which of course is the exact same as the other hornet. This probably would be my first complaint in the game, and I think it's a reasonable problem for where the generation of the console was at. But there's a limited variability in character and enemy sprites, which is a little disappointing, particularly as you get deeper in the game. But it's an understandable problem. It's just something that I would fix if I had the opportunity. Alright, so there we go, and we have finished the first half of the tree here, other than the fact that we are going to come down and grab this treasure chest. And we get counter jewel, which we won't be using, unlike that what is it, resist jewel. That only works for one fight, so I generally find it more valuable just to sell it. This is an interesting little puzzle. So you have these holes that you have to fall down, and there's these spider webs you can walk under. And when you fall, you always have the chance of ending up landing on one of the spider webs and just bouncing back up. I think this one will bounce me back up, if I remember correctly. So it's not all that problematic, but it just does require you to take extra steps, and that of course increases the chance of having more encounters that you then have to deal with. The other ones I messed up on purpose. I thought that was actually the right one, and apparently I was wrong. Wow. Alright, let's go for this guy. Alright, now there are other ones that work here, but in this room you actually want to come to this one, because there's a treasure chest here that obviously is blocked by this hole, so you can only get to it by falling down there, and inside is the source of life. Which I'm not going to use yet, but we're going to keep that in our back pocket. A very useful item. And now here, we want to come over to this one. Yes, alright. And that is the end of the tree maze, but not quite the end of our video, as we're going to get through just a short cavern as well first. Why there's no, large tree to indicate that was where the dungeon was, I'm not really sure. I suppose that is the forest landscape, and a tree ultimately is just part of the forest, so maybe that's why. It's the only time where something like that really happens in this game that I can think of. Here we have goblins. It's our first time seeing this character sprite. I think you can fight them inside the great tree there, which I did not, if I remember correctly, but I'm pretty sure they're in there. Anyway, not that it matters. Alright, I think we're fine taking this path, and then we want to go to the right here. Alright, let's continue on. Alright, Edward has leveled up to 7. VP, LP, minimal increases, but MP got 3. Speed went up, which is good. He's been a little slow for us. Alright, this time we want to go to this side and down first. It's not the way out, but there is a treasure chest down there. We'll just kill this frog quickly. Or not. Samson hit by the recoil. I believe the damage Samson takes is equal to the damage he puts out divided by 4, but also they luckily always round down, which is nice. So long as he's doing 7 or less, he only takes 1 hit point of damage, but it's still fairly annoying regardless. And our counter orb, which only lasts for 1 fight, so we'll probably be selling that. those kind of temporary single fight buffing or debuffing items just aren't all that interesting to me and aren't really worth the inventory space for me. Alright, Samson also reaching level 7. Strength again by 4. No increase to VP. Speed went up again by 1. And look at that, a free antidote. Isn't that always nice? If you have not noticed, Samson never learns any magic in the game. There are other characters where magic isn't their primary utility, but Samson is the only one who literally does no magic. Alright, should be out of here. And we're just going to walk over to where Zalagoon is, and then we'll end the video. I can show you, there's a cave slightly south of here, but we're not going to be going there yet. Let's see what our new enemy is. Alright, so the spinning tail is the only one that's actually new. It's obviously not a new sprite. It's the same as the, I don't know, whatever, jumping rabbits, whatever they were called earlier on that we fought. We'll see how this plays out. This will be ending things shortly anyway. Alright. Always nice to get to ambush the enemy and get an extra round of attacks in. It doesn't happen all that often, but when it does, it's useful. Didn't really take great advantage of it. I can't honestly say that I put a lot of thought into my attack pattern, just kind of had everyone attack at random. We have plenty of health and we're right outside of town, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, there we go. Good work, Samson. Oh, look at that. And we reached level 8 on the way out. VP, LP, just a little bit of magic, good strength increase, and more speed. And he came with us. MP by 2, and Holy Light level 1. That is going to be one of our favorite spells in the game for quite some time. Where's Zalagoon? I forget if it's up or down. Maybe I'll even just use it here. Yes, I think we definitely will. Because Holy Light is our first group spell. Let's use the poison bugs. They annoy me. But it's also a pretty potent spell that, what was I going to say? Pretty potent spell that doesn't really cost a huge amount of mana points. So it does a good amount of damage for us, and it's on a just a very useful ability for us to start acquiring. The ability to hit groups all at once, instead of always having to hit one at a time. You guys make sure that that guy dies. That one's definitely gonna die. Oh, Annie, I thought you were gonna take care of it. Let me down. Come on, you're better than that. Edward, I don't really expect more for you, that's fine. There we go. Alright. That probably will be our last fight before we get to town, but you never know. Alright, here we are, right outside again. Hang on. Alright, well I guess we got a little boon from having that extra attack, or that extra fight rather. Edward reached level 8. MP goes up by 3, defense by 1, no new spells yet, but that's okay, we'll get in some more fun spells later. But yes, we will end things here, and when we return, we'll enter Zalagoon and begin the next stage of our journey. But till then, see ya!